Welcome to the second day of Outdoor Dance Collection 2021. Yesterday was a brilliant day and we are really looking forward to today's program. For those who have not attended yesterday, I'm Lucy Mirkova. I'm the Head of Artistic Programs for Dance Exchange and Curator for Birmingham International Dance Festival. I'm female, in her 40s, I'm white, and I use the pronouns she, her. I have medium-length blonde hair, and today I'm wearing a top with black and white stripes. We are here again in our showcasing part of the Outdoor Dance Collection, a program that is part of the BIDS professional and industry strand. And as I mentioned yesterday, it has two parts. One is the UK Dance Showcase and Dance and the Outdoor Symposium that will take place next week. Today, we will present you with a program of current choreographic practice situated outdoor and site responsive. You will see presentations by 7 artists. Just to mention again, this showcase was conceived in collaboration with our incredible partners Danse K and Extracts. Originally, we were supposed to be in the same place last year. It was an in-person event. But yeah, here we are in the online space, sitting with a global audience. So welcome and enjoy today's session. I'm now going to pass over to my colleague Hannah at Danse K. Thank you and see you later.
Hi, I'm Hannah Sharp, Programme Director at Danse K. I use the pronouns she, her. I'm a white woman in my 40s with a blonde bob, and today I'm wearing a black top with pink and red flowers on. And I'm delighted to be sat in Danse K's beautiful studios at our International Centre for Choreography. Since 2018, Danse K has been leading Dance from England, an international programme of action research and delivery, one that supports independent dance artists and producers based in England to connect with international programmers and artists. Danse K nurture and create international showcasing opportunities, like this one, with the aim of developing international collaboration and understanding. It's been a challenging year, but the resilience, determination and courage of artists is humbling and inspiring. We're really grateful to all of the artists who were able to generously share their work during this showcase. Today's session is 1 hour and 15 minutes, with 7 artists profiling their work. Lucy and I will share some details in between the pitches, and at the end we'll host a live Q&A with the pitching companies. For access purposes, and because we acknowledge that English is not the first language of a big number of listeners today, this session will be captioned. We hope that you enjoy as much as we do.
Hello, my name is Christina.
My name is Grace.
Hello, my name is Sade.
And we are Elaine Dance. I am executive producer.
And Sade and I are the co-artistic directors, the choreographers and the performers of Elaine Dance. Elaine Dance is a UK-based company with an international reach. We strive for high excellence and high-quality work in performance and participation. In our creative work, we are inspired by true stories and true events, and we like to reimagine them in an abstract way.
Our style in movement and expression is triggered from our experiences and knowledge in West African, Caribbean katak, hip-hop and circus skills within a contemporary dance context.
Bonded is a 30-minute mid-scale production. It explores the construct of human dependency, especially that of siblings, and displays how time and external conditions can affect the synergetic connection. Performed by Christina and Sade, the work takes the audience through a transitional journey of inter and independency through abstract dance narrative.
Bonded is split into 5 sections: womb, life, imbalance, dependency, moving on. The piece starts with a physical divide present on stage. This divide, though keeping us apart, also demonstrates our connection as the audience sees us moving and responding to external factors in the same identical manner. At a certain point, the connection is broken and our synergy interrupted, causing an imbalance. One of us becomes less able to keep up physically, and mentally the audience begin, for the first time, to see us as 2 individuals. As the physical bond slowly deteriorates, audiences see the internal bond of love, support and connection strengthen.
We've been working on bonding since 2019, with the initial R&D supported by Without Walls Blueprint Bursary, Welcome Collection, Twins UK and Drill House Sea Change Arts. Creation has been supported by Without Walls and commissioned by Norfolk and Norwich Festival and Salisbury International Arts Festival, part of Wiltshire Creative. We've also had additional support from 101 Outdoor Creation Space and Irony Dance. Number of shows per day, up to 3. Time required between shows, 2 hours. PA system, 2 monitors and a sound desk required. Get-in time, 5 hours including warm-up and rehearsals. Set strike, 2 hours. Company on tour, 4 people including 2 dancers, 1 technician and 1 company representative. Crew required on site, 2 stage technicians, 1 sound technician. Minimum stage area, 7 meters by 7 meters. Set and props travel in 2 pallet crates, dimensions 250 centimeters wide, 120 centimeters deep, and 180 centimeters high.
We are very excited to be presenting this work, and we feel that Bonded will give us the opportunity to engage with the local communities.
Bonded is energetic, engaging, rhythmical and emotional.
We hope the audience will feel the connection to the love that we have for each other as sisters, and perhaps make them think of a loved one of their own.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our pitch for Bonded.
We are really excited about this work.
And we hope you are too.
Birmingham International Dance Festival is produced by Danse K, a dance development organisation for the region of West Midlands. BIDF is the city's signature summer festival that happens every 2 years and usually takes over the city's theatres, streets and squares in the celebration of dance. This year, because of the pandemic and the uncertain situation about live events, we have decided to do things a bit differently and present a 2-part festival with online summer edition that takes place now from the 3rd until the 13th of June, and this one will be followed by the autumn edition that will take place between the 21st of September and the 3rd of October. For our summer online edition, we have substantially developed our digital offer as part of our festival and are launching our new online platform, BIDF TV. We've been very lucky to partner with Sylvain, who have launched their brilliant online platform Zoo TV, at last year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival. For our program, we've been working with artists from all over the world to experiment with different ways how to present work in the online space. The program includes newly commissioned dance films, international screen dance program, and for example, live broadcasts of live music and choreography from our studios in the center of Birmingham. If you would like to learn more, please go and visit our BIDF booth here on the feed loop or visit our website bidf.co.uk if you already haven't done so.
Good Youths Walk is a new outdoor show created by Far From The Norm. It's a piece basically about young people, their reflection during lockdown. The reason I wanted to make this piece was because I want to talk about the political system happening in the UK and also to give young people a voice, a new voice that feels like they're not, they're human beings at the end of the day and they have a heart. So this piece is about reflection, it's about showing them love and showing them that young people are positive people who are doing great things.
The process has been a really interesting one, but it's just thrown a lot of movement material towards us. We've been doing things that the youth are doing nowadays, a lot of like TikTok inspired dances and styles that are kind of before my generation, so that's been really interesting. And also we've been using a set, so getting to grips with that, doing things that are a little bit more out of our comfort zone have been really good.
The experience that the audience will receive for this piece is a lot of the music is very beat driven, so you'll feel like you're going on some sort of roller coaster journey. There's again moments of stillness in the piece, moments of chaos that you'll see, but all in all it's a fast-paced piece and it's about trying to catch the narrative as much as possible.
I think that it is a kind of a piece that will help people. The youth today have been struggling coming out of lockdown. People have found things difficult, and I feel like it's kind of a way to excite the youth and show them that there are things that they can achieve and get them motivated towards their future. Good Youths Walk is a piece that applies to all kinds of generations. There's moments of nostalgia in there, and also there's things in there for younger children. There's happy times, there's moments of struggle that we then come through. It's quite a good inspirational piece.
Something that excites me about bringing the piece out internationally is just how it connects with audiences. I think all over the world in different places, different young people are going through different things, but ultimately there's a connection about struggle and there's about frustration that a lot of people feel in different places. So it's exciting just to connect with new people, new audiences, and let young people see another way.
As well as the 14 artists sharing their work in the showcase, we have compiled a catalogue profiling a selection of the best new and existing outdoor dance shows available for touring in 2021 in 2022. Each profile includes artistic and practical information about the touring work, from video trailers and images to contact details and touring information. Please visit the lobby in the Feedloop platform and scroll down to access the link.
Hi guys, my name is Jamal Berkmar. I'm a choreographer and the artistic director of Extended Play. We are called Extended Play because our work at its core is inspired by the innate relationship between music and dance. Over the years, that has evolved to having quite a clear and distinct connection to music that is not often heard in contemporary works of the past, and even more recently has celebrated a relationship with music of Black origin, predominantly in our theatrical work. My team includes my wonderful producer Triku Holatz and the dancers Maya Carroll, Yolanda Portogallo and Amy Hollinshead. So, I'm here today to talk to you about our work, Jukebox. So Jukebox is a work that came out of a desire to celebrate contemporary movements, contemporary composition and structure in an accessible way that could reach and appeal to many audiences. The general gist of the work is that audiences get to choose from between 14 songs from a range of different artists, different genres and different eras to curate the type of performance that they want to see. We created Jukebox to be accessible with all types of audiences, and the few testing performances that we've had so far show that that is definitely the case. However, Jukebox has also inspired a lot of our work online, and our similarly choreographed digital works on Instagram and Facebook have shown us that these types of creations tend to directly appeal to a younger audience. Over the last 6 months, our digital creations have moved our audience from being mostly split between the 25 to 34 demographic to drastically swinging in the direction of 18 to 24-year-olds. The work itself is pretty changeable to all kinds of environments. It is best performed in the round and requires around an 8 to 9 meter square space to house the performance. We take 5 people on the road with, of course, our jukebox and speakers, and the work can be performed pretty easily with a same day get in and get out. At this point in time, the work has only been performed at a testing event in Birmingham and Derby back in 2018. Jukebox, like so many other projects, was forced to evolve in the current climate, and a number of exciting different versions of the work have come out of this. We've created a digital offer based on all of this growth, and are set to perform this digital iteration of Jukebox in collaboration with Grammy-nominated singer Mahalia.
Now that I am sober, I take back what I said. I'm sitting with this love hangover, and boy, it's hurting my head. It's the middle of October, and we just came to an end. I'm just sorry that there ain't no time left.
This represents the start of an ongoing Jukebox collaboration between myself and Mahalia. All that being said, the outdoor work in its original form is available for touring in the future. I think that's everything from me. I look forward to any questions that you might have.
This is our first time using Feedloop platform, and so we're still navigating it ourselves, but there are plenty of ways that you can actively engage with it. You can network with other delegates, including the presenting artists, by clicking on the networking tab on the left-hand side, where you'll see a full list of delegates. You can get in touch with people via private message, or you can set up a one-to-one video call. You can visit artists in the exhibitor hall, where all pitching artists and organisers will have a booth each to share information and facilitate connections.
Hi, I'm Jan, and this is Milo.
And we are Jeanefer. So we integrate contemporary dance, circus and theatre, and we've been touring internationally indoor work and outdoor work for nearly 10 years now. Timeless is our new exciting medium to large scale show, and it features a 7-metre high rotating hourglass. So this is the model of the show. You have to excuse Milo's little addition to the pitch. He's very excited by the show as well. So the performers will be inside the capsules, but they'll also be on the outside of the capsules. The hourglass will lock in place so that we can have the performers safely on the outside. They'll also be climbing around the set and also around the floor on the outside of the set. So the show will be in the round. Thank you, Milo. See you later. Just so that we can focus on the details of the show. So the team will be Jan and I as artistic directors and choreographers, but we'll also be performing in the show as well. And we will be auditioning 2 extra performers at the end of this year. So Will Jackson is our set designer and maker. He designed the model and he created the model, and he will be building the final set. He's made many, many large-scale theatre shows, including Cirque du Soleil's What Am I Worth set. And our composer is now Masuda. She's worked with us in previous Jeanefer shows. She's a really fantastic musician, and she specialises in taiko drums, which we're really excited about. And will be produced by Split Second. So for the audience, we're aiming the show at everybody. We want it to be an all-inclusive show. It's for all ages, cultures and social backgrounds. We're also researching audio description for those members of the audience that are visually impaired, and now specialises in using the vibrations of her taiko drums to be able to reach people with hearing impairments. And so we really want to incorporate that into the show as well. So our commissioners are Without Walls, Bournemouth Arts by the Sea, Imagine Watford Festival, Merchant City Festival and the Point Eastleigh. We also have partners and in-kind support, and they are the Point Eastleigh again, Sea Change Arts and Sasha Lee, who was former artistic director of the Point. She is our consultant. In terms of touring, the show will be ready to tour in May 2022. We need a flat surface of about 10 by 10 metres. It can be any surface, it just needs to be flat. The show will be between 45 minutes and 1 hour long, and usually we will just play it once. However, we are looking at creating one slightly shorter version so that we can perform it twice in one day if the festival really wants that. The show can be played at night, but the festival will have to provide lighting for that. As I said before, the show is in the round, so we can fit as many audience members in as possible, and the hourglass is freestanding. We do have a storyboard as well, which really describes the show in detail, and we're happy to provide that for you if you would like to. So thanks very much, and we hope to have a chat with you later on. Thanks a lot, bye.
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Anaïs Bio and I am the Creative Development and Partnerships Manager at XREX. We are delighted to be working with Dance Exchange and Dance 4 on this first ever UK Dance Showcase. To give you some context, XREX is a Manchester-based development organisation for outdoor arts, and we work both nationally and internationally. One of our key strands of work is around the international relations, and we do this through a program called Platform for UK, which is about supporting the promotion and export of UK outdoor arts. It is within the context of Platform for UK that we are supporting these pitching sessions and delivering the UK Outdoor Dance Showcase. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the Arts Council of England, without whom much of this activity wouldn't be possible. Our next showcase event will be taking place in partnership with Stockton International Riverside Festival, which is one of the major festivals in the northeast of England. And we will be running a hybrid showcase from the 28th of July to the 1st of August. Registrations will be open soon. If you would like to find out more about Extract's work, please come and visit us on the Extract's booth on the Feedloop platform, or come and visit us at www.extracts.org.uk. Thank you everyone, and I hope that you enjoyed today's sessions.
Hi, we're David and Frauke of Rekvart and Rosenberg, here to talk to you about Future Cargo. We've just premiered at Norfolk and Norwich Festival, and we're excited to tell you more about the show as part of this pitching event.
Future Cargo is a sci-fi dance show. It arrives in a truck where we see an unstoppable process unfold. Our audience wears headphones, and it's like nothing you'll have seen before. It's designed by Hannah Clark, and the sounds are by Ben and Max Ringham. Lights by Malcolm Rippeth.
This show is super tourable, as the truck arrives with everything we need within it. All you need to provide is power and space of about 50 meters by 28 meters. There's a team of 11 on tour, and it runs for about 50 minutes. This summer, we're playing to audiences of up to 500, but we're interested in talking to you if you've got space for even larger audiences than that.
We are really excited to be sharing this show now. We think audiences will be surprised and delighted and intrigued.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was like mesmerizing.
This is a show for all ages, for those who are excited by new work, dance and music.
It's very low on text, so it doesn't require a good knowledge of English.
And we have created an audio description that can be played along at any time with the show. We're extremely grateful for the numerous partners who have supported the work to be made, and we can't wait to share it with our audiences.
We'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the crucial support that we receive from Arts Council England, without whom much of this activity would not be possible. As I said earlier, we encourage you to engage with artists and each other through the networking functions that this platform enables. Through Dance4's Dance from England programme, there will be the opportunity for pitching artists based in England to access funds to support international tour dates booked through these pitches. We have modest funds that can support administrative costs that enable an artist to take part in a festival that might not otherwise be possible. So please do reach out to the artists whose work you are interested in and negotiate onward touring.
Hello. My name is Stefan Jovanovic. I am an architect and a choreographer. I identify as queer and neurodivergent. I am originally from Serbia, former Yugoslavia, and have been based in London for about the last decade. And my work really sits at this intersection of dance, architecture, and spirituality. And today I want to talk to you about a new production in the making called Drumming in the Hall of the Mountain. This work blends together installation art, dance, and live music in outdoor contexts. And it is a story. It is a story about the ending of time and the beginning of something else. It is a story that has been going on for millennia in the past, today, and at some point in the not too distant future. This story of endings will always be someone or something else's beginning. And it is told by 4 spirit creatures, which I will sometimes call wizards, who come to gather on the grounds of a sacred site in order to save their beloved ecosystem from ending. And they do this by changing humanity's perception that time is only existing in a linear dimension. And in this way, addressing one of the core issues that we face today, which is our imagined future dying on this beloved planet we call home. I started working on this project last September 2020 with a set designer called Jack Hardy based in the UK and garment artist Curtis Oland based in Canada, Turtle Island. We basically began at production, so almost backwards to more traditional choreographic processes. But as an architect, that's how I work. I start with the materiality, with the weight, with the physicality, with the texture, and then I work backwards, which brings us to May this year, where I've invited 4 international performers, including Maeva Berthelot from France, Katie Coe from the UK, Ophelia Young from Germany, and Shannon Stewart from the USA to begin the research and development of this work. And we have been working together with Eva Martinez as a dramaturge for this production. Currently, we have been in partnership with Danse K in Nottingham, facilitating the research phase. And the next phase is creation, which will happen in September this year in partnership with Dance Exchange, and we'll really begin to start situating the work in an outdoor context as part of Birmingham International Dance Festival. At its heart, this work is about the survival of the land, of both sentient and non-sentient life. And my intention for touring it from spring-summer 2022 is to really work with the specific relevance of sites located internationally, as well as their histories, sites that have undergone shifts in both their historical and semiotic past, transformations, ideally through week-long residencies that would culminate in performances that can be situated in both cultural festivals, but also sitting outside of theater seasons, where audiences will be invited to gather at key points, ideally 4 key entries to a natural landscape or site, where they will be greeted by each one of the wizards, which you're seeing right now. And these wizards will guide members of the audience in a procession-like manner to gather at a central site where this performance ritual will take place. About 4 to 8 staff will be needed in order to facilitate this procession, depending on the scale of the site. And at the site itself, we would need a most basic PA system to allow for live music to be played by the composer who I am looking for to join us for this next phase in September. And this final 1-hour performance will culminate ideally with the setting of the sun and inviting both children, adults, and elderly who can be theater goers, but also those interested in event-based work in outdoor contexts, who are drawn to partake in audience participation in a safe manner, and at core social gathering, which we are in such desperate need of today. I want to thank you for listening, and I very much look forward to meeting you in these coming days.
So as I mentioned earlier, the second part of Birmingham International Dance Festival 2021 is going to take place in autumn between the 21st of September and the 3rd of October. Our main focus in the autumn will be on live, finally, outdoor and site-specific program. with one part of the festival taking place in the city centre, utilizing the various squares and parks that the city has to offer, and the second part will take place outside the city centre to bring exciting dance performances and experiences for our communities here in Birmingham and beyond. We are also excited about the opportunity for video projections and video mapping that the autumn slot has to offer. And we will make sure we'll make a full use of it, because that's usually the part we are not able to do in our regular June slot. We hope that we will be able to present a majority of the program through live stream through our before mentioned digital platform BIDF TV. So all of you here today will be provided with a link to watch those shows as live. More information is to be followed soon after our summer edition, so please watch the space at bidf.co.uk or on our social media.
Feel free to comment, post and tweet about this event using the hashtags #ODC21 and #UK Dance Showcase. Make sure to follow BIDF, Dance4 and Extracts on social media, as we'll be sharing follow-up resources and publications.
Hello, my name is Stefan Levy and I am the co-director of the Theatre Moveo based in Barcelona. Today we are presenting a show called Echoes, which is the third part of a trilogy we started to work on in 2014, which aims at exploring the different relation between reality and fiction in public spaces. The show is a production designed to be presented in the street or public spaces, as well as non-conventional spaces. The idea behind the creation of Echoes starts in a very simple question. Where do our actions, our feelings and our thoughts come from? Are we the creators of them, or are they just echoes of the outside world, of what's around us? Are we really creating anything, or are we just reproducing and changing all the time? Reproducing what we like and reproducing what we don't like sometimes. Where does the question come from for us? When we were touring with the two previous parts of the trilogy, Tu vas tomber en consecuencias, we saw very often that once the show was finished, families and children or people would invade the performing space and would start to reproduce the movement or try to reproduce the movement we had done during the show, which sometimes we had to be careful because it's not easy movement and people can get hurt. But we thought it was a very beautiful idea that after seeing a show, people would want to do the same. We would want to reproduce what they had experienced as spectator on the other side. So that's the starting point, and we thought, how can we put this into a show? How can we make this idea of sharing and of being the example for the other a positive dynamic that we can put in a movement show? This show is as all the production of the company, is a piece that combines a very high physicality, very complicated movement skills, acrobatics, with a very theatrical language that allows us to be in a very close contact with the audience. Most of our shows are participative shows, which means we interact with the audience. We in this idea of blurring reality and fiction, we try to also blur this border between public and performers, and the third production follows this line. Unfortunately, this production was designed in 2020 in a very pandemic situation, so we had to reevaluate all what we were doing, because the original plan was to interact with the public, hold the public, bring the public on stage, dance with them. Obviously we couldn't do that, so we tried to turn this around, and we went to explore the relation through singing, because we thought singing is a way of touching without contact. So we introduced in the show this idea of how we can relate through the singing with the audience and among the actors and dancers. And we also have exploring possibilities to reintroduce the public into the show without taking off the singing part. Our objective as a company when we create shows is to create a very global experience for the audience. We use movement, we use theatre, we use singing, we use, of course, a lot of humor in order for people who come to have the feeling that they are part of something. They're not just watching a show, but with the interaction we create with the audience, they have something around them that starts being drawn as an experience of art in the street. This show was made possible, obviously, by all the efforts of the production team of the company, but also through our partners, who are very valuable partners and followers for the last years, who are Fira Tárrega, which is a very important festival, and the Sismograph Festival here in Spain. The Barcelona City Council also offered us help in the creation of the show, and we are very grateful to all these partners. So now we have this production running and touring since September 2020. Our previous production, Tu vas tomber en consecuencias, have toured around the world, which is in Korea, Great Britain, France, Hungary, many other countries. And obviously this piece, since we premiered it in September, has toured through Spain, but due to pandemic condition hasn't yet been exported outside of Spain. And we of course look forward to being able to travel again and present it to international audience. Thank you very much for your time. We hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we are looking forward to being able to talk to you directly. Thank you very much.
So before we move to the next part of the program, I would like to talk to you more about what's coming up next as part of the ODC program. So today's session will be followed by a marketplace, which you have the opportunity to take a virtual walk around the exhibition hall to meet the organizers and the artists pitching as part of ODC 21. This session will conclude the program of the UK Dance Showcase, and we will then move to next week, where we will bring you Dance and the Outdoors Symposium that will take place on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of June with a very exciting lineup. The Dance and the Outdoors Symposium are organized by our partners 101 Outdoor Arts and The Place. You can find more details about the program on the schedule tab as part of this Feedloop platform. So please scroll through, look at the program and register if you haven't done so. Thank you and see you later. To the live Q&A as part of the artist pitching session day 2. As I mentioned before, my name is Lucy Mirkova and I will be leading on this part of the session. Hannah from Dance 4 is also here and she will be monitoring any incoming questions. We have between 20 to 30 minutes, so please use the chat actively on the platform for any burning questions you have for the artist today. And please, if you can also put a name of the artist next to the question so we know who you want to ask. So, without a further ado, let's get started. Big welcome to all the artists who are here today with us. Thank you so much for your brilliant presentations. It was really fantastic to hear about your work and also get some insight into your creative practice. We will be not doing individual introductions, so we can directly dive into the questions. We will be going around everyone today. We have questions for each of you, so you all have the chance to speak. We will also take the questions from the audiences, which I'm sure will be plenty. Great, so I would like to start with Elaine Dance. And we have Christina Chadet and Grace with us today. So my question is, first of all, you've already premiered your work this spring. So I would like to hear about your experience, already performing, what was the audience's reactions, and also if you can talk a little bit about the structure, the very, impressive set you are using, and where that idea came from, and how the audiences react to it.
Hello everyone. Hello.
So we premiered our work in Norfolk and Norwich Festival, which was very exciting because it was our first time for us performing since lockdown. And like we were saying, the volunteers were amazing and managed to make it safe that the audience can come and watch, and also the audience can approach us after the performance. And then last week we were in Salisbury Festival, which was beautiful because we also got to perform on the ground, where in Norfolk we were quite high. So it gave us a different experience of being closer to the audience and actually being able to catch eye contact with them immediately.
And we're so used to performing quite regularly in the year, but obviously for the pandemic, we weren't able to perform. So we haven't actually been in front of an audience for over a year. So for us, it was quite special to finally share, and especially in an outdoor situation, you get to see the audience responses and react with them in the moment. So it was actually really exciting for us, and we're looking forward for more. And the structure, we wanted to create something, we love the word epic. We always say we want something epic, but we wanted to make something strong, but at the same time inside something delicate and beautiful. And hence why we played with making this block, this glass wall where we can dance inside of it, but also we have the delicate sheets of imagery left after the performance. But then as we leave the stage, we wanted to represent that life division, that obstacles that life have. And that's how we decided to experiment with how can some obstacle get in the way of the bond? Can we still have this bond even though there's something between us?
And what's special is because it's performed in a round, depending on where the audience are standing, sitting or passing by, they're going to have a different experience and a different relationship to each other, depending on what they see and what they experience. And for us, we always like to make pieces that are emotional, that connect to people from the inside. And it was really delightful to see the people's responses, from kids to the elderly. And it really touched us to hear their responses.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
And then, sorry, I was just going to add to that in terms of the set. We actually started this process in 2019, still being supported through the Blueprint Bursary Without Walls. And I have to say that the ladies did have to do some compromising when it came to the original vision of this set. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that kind of when it comes to working in the outdoors in this kind of field, we had to we had many conversations without walls, especially about sustainability and so on, but also what was possible. So they're not lying about when they said epic, because if it was up to them, that would have been a kind of motor-powered revolving stage with water trickling down, with smoke, with them on top of it, also kind of spiraling down. So this is what we ended up with, and it's quite beautiful. It's strong, but also, as they said, delicate within the work. But we did have to come to that with a few compromises. I just wanted to mention that for those that are thinking about doing outdoor work, just kind of those technicalities that you have to include in your thinking and design.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so there's been some negotiations between the and the final concept. How is it to tour the set? How is it, you know, you've made a couple of shows already, so are you getting in the gist of sort of building it? And yeah, how is it? Have you made any changes since then, or is it working? It's quite straightforward now.
For us, it's quite straightforward. We have our production manager, Salvatore, and when they were creating the set, they were very aware of how can we travel with this. And in our mind, we're thinking of international as well. So we wanted to make it compact. So even though it looks impressively big, it compacts into very small crates that are easily can move. And also in Salisbury, we shared the space with other artists that they performed opposite us. So it's very easy to move for another artist to perform, and then we can wheel it back. So we've tried to think of all areas of how can we make this work with a quick turnaround of outdoor arts.
Yeah, great. That's great to know. Great. Thank you so much. Good luck with the project. And I'm going to now go to Far From the Norm. And I think we have Lee here today.
Hi, Lucy. Hello.
Great. So my question for you also would like to hear more about your experiences, because you've already premiered the work this year, and also then talk a little bit more about, you mentioned that the piece is informed by contemporary politics and the pandemic. and that you want the audience to follow the narrative. So what is it that you want the audience to take away from the piece?
Okay, so to start with, the work's still in development. So the work was created in April. We had the first show at Norfolk and Norwich a couple of weeks ago, and the dancers are planning to go back into rehearsals before the London show in August. So it's an evolving beast, but it's the first production that we've ever had kind of something of a scale in terms of set. Before when we've toured, it's kind of been out of a suitcase, typical hip hop style, just rock up, do it and leave. So this year we're trying to up the antes a little bit with the vision and the epicness, as Elaine Dancer just mentioned too. But what we want to take away really, audience-wise, is a sense of young people need to be able to contribute to the UK political landscape, and I suppose globally too. I think in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, Brexit happening, kind of everything in light of the pandemic, it feels like now more than ever we should be listening to the people that are going to kind of receive the legacy of the decisions made today, and they're not. They don't have a voice. So this work is kind of giving our 2 pence on what we think young people would do if they had the keys to kind of 10 Downing Street, or had any sort of political say in their future.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I also have a question about the set. I was quite impressed today that so many pieces have like really, the artists really ambitious with, with the sets and really making a, big experience. So how is it for you working with the set? Have you worked with something like that before? Or?
No. Well, we worked, the last outdoor show had some sort of geodesic dome. So it was kind of more of a aesthetically looking piece rather than a piece that we really got to engage with. But Botis is kind of quite adamant that this didn't just look pretty, but it was interactive, that the dancers could move through, jump off. But we're, again, the limitations of budget and the reality of touring outdoors means we can't have the slides and the trampolines and all the rest of it. But the dancers have had so much fun. We've all come out of a pandemic. They've been thrown in a studio, supported by 101, which is incredible. And they've got to play. So not just test kind of their physical skills again, but engage with something that's very different to the usual practice of Far From the Norm.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Lee. And yeah, good luck with the next rehearsals, and I hope I will get to see it sometime. Great. Thank you. So the next one, we have Jamal and extended play. So the show Jukebox, Jamal.
Oh, I can't hear you.
It's your background.
Oh, is it my? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just suddenly got very busy where I am. Apologies.
If I go through Olivia, and then if you find so the audience can hear you. Brilliant. That's great. Perfect. Yeah, Olivia.
Hi.
Hello. Great. Thank you for the presentation. And yeah, it's a brand new piece, isn't it? So being developed as we probably speak. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about it's very ambitious. I think it's a departure, working really ambitious set, and really it sounds really exciting. I would like to ask about the story behind the piece, what the hourglass means. What is the story you want to tell the audiences?
Yeah, sure. So the show started off about, it was really the concept of time and the passing of time. And the more we researched, we should say that also we were part of the Without Walls blueprint. So we've been sort of thinking about this project for quite a long time. So things have been changing and developing. And so the show will actually be about climate change and how the passing of time, how literally we may be running out of time. We were thinking, it wasn't actually supposed to be, but the Extinction Rebellion logo is an hourglass, and we sort of created this hourglass completely separately, but then we got thinking about the passing of time and how it influences humanity and the planet, and so at the moment we have different scenes, and we're working thematically throughout these scenes. So we have a really lovely storyboard storyboard, which we're happy to share with everyone, which has each scene in more detail. We have a scene of drought and a scene of flooding, and these scenes will be playing out within the capsules of the hourglass, and also around the outside of the hourglass and on the floor. So they'll be telling little stories and sort of going on a journey with the characters. So it's, at the moment, obviously we haven't made the show yet, but we have, like I say, the storyboard, which encapsulates the sort of feel for it. There's one scene which is we call Chaos. And so it really does take us on a journey. Well, that's how we anticipate it to be.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I would also like to ask, you are known for your dance and acrobatic style. Is it something that's developed in this piece, or are you also looking at different styles and how you're gonna work around?
Yeah, we're sorry, was that for Jan? Did you say for Jan?
I was going to say hi, Jan.
Oh, hi, Jan.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it will still be our Julian style. So we're still going to be combining partner acrobatics and contemporary circus and contemporary dance. We're looking at performers who are very highly skilled in acrobatics as well, because we need people to be happy with the height of the set. It's going to be 7 meters high, although the hourglass will be the hourglasses are enclosed, so it's not like you can fall out of it, but we would like to have some movement around the outside of the hourglass, and the way it rotates, at some point you will always be at that 7 meter height. So we're looking for performers who are really super highly skilled, very confident on a structure and a set, and we'll create the work initially through play. So we'll jump on the set and sort of play and see what we can find before we even start to try to choreograph and set things. So we're looking for people who are also very creative. So yeah, we'll be mixing our style, using a lot of contact dance to bridge the gap between the dance and the circus, and then we'll encapsulate it all in sort of theatrical scenes and ensure that each character has a real sort of can relate to the audience. So every person performing will have their own character, and that character is just as important as the tricks and as the movement.
Yeah. Great, thank you so much. So yeah, also good luck with the future development of the work, and hope you'll see 22. Is that correct? That's going to be ready.
Yeah, May 2022. Yeah, and we already have quite a lot of people interested in the show, so that's great.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So now we go back to Jamal, who is now great. Okay, so jukebox. Extended play. So Jamal, can you talk a little bit about why did you decide to do an outdoor show? If I'm correct, it's the first outdoor show. And yeah, why jukebox? Why outside?
This is all quite a long time ago now, but it definitely started because I just felt that I wanted to go to more places where people were. And I was a little bit disillusioned with how often I'd go to a theatre and see people who I was seeing regularly just within the sector. And music has always been a real central theme to what we do. And music is it's just so universal, even language doesn't really even matter when it comes to music. And it just felt like the right fit to try, and jukebox felt like the right funnel with which to bring all of these things together so that we could still focus on dance and still celebrate music and bring all of those things to people that we just very rarely meet. And it was sort of reflective in our work online as well, where we felt like it was our connection with music, particularly mainstream music, particularly music of Black origin, that was allowing us to meet different people that we would usually meet through the sort of contemporary paradigm, if you will.
Yeah, that's good. So how you work a lot in the digital space, how does the sort of on the social media, Instagram, how does that, does it has an impact on your life work? What's the relationship between?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're quite aware of how much we've grown over this last like 3-4 months, particularly. I think that our relationship to our audience is a lot more symbiotic. People feel like they have a say in what we're doing, which is really nice. I mean, we've done that literally, where we've held votes on what music we should choreograph to next. We don't give them total free reign, because I don't want to make to everything, but we certainly have a better dialogue now with our online audiences, which we're trying to shift more into the sort of the real life space as well. And I think Jukebox is part of that. The point of Jukebox, as sort of said in the presentation, is that people get to choose the order and what they see. And so that means that sometimes some songs won't come up, and that choice and that engagement just means that they feel a little bit more at ease to participate. And so online, we get people kind of replicating parts of our methods, and then they share it with us and they put it online. In public, that's a literal thing where people kind of feel that they can dance or sing along to what's going on in the background as well. So I think they're both sharing that space of trying to push the engagement and blur the lines a little bit between what we're doing and what they're watching.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So as an example, I will advertise one of our events at BIDF Festival and our BIDF TV. So we will be experimenting with a live stream of the show from a dance studio in collaboration with your sister, the songwriter, singer Mahalia. So that's going to be interesting. What are your thoughts on that? How this came about as a show?
Yeah, the show with Mahalia kind of came from her first. She danced with me. We were all kids. We were at Ace Dance and Music in Birmingham. We were taught by Sade from Elaine Dance when we were younger. And I think that was, she loves what we do, but I think that she's always very vocal about, like, from not sort of actually being a part of the industry, sort of what just immediately doesn't grab her and what immediately does grab her. And she was really interested in trying to find a more interesting relationship with her audience as well. And so we thought this is a great beginning into a much longer term collaboration. And so this is our first, I mean, it's live streamed, but it's our first live show together. And the aim is to see that arrive in, should we say, non-traditional contemporary dance venues, where we're performing to sort of her audience rather than the ones that I know, where her music and the dance is a little more in sync. And I think the way we're seeing it is that it's a piece of dance theatre that is based around the idea of her gig, essentially. And, we've got lots of questions about that. As she performs to 2,000 people, how do we keep the eye of 2,000 people? That's going to be interesting. So this is like that first starting thing of like, okay, let's hone in on just camera and guiding the eye and seeing if we can make all the choices for them, and then just trying to pull and stretch that over the next year and a half, 2 years, basically.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting idea. So if someone wants to see the first next Thursday at 7:30, check out the site. This way, bidf.co.uk for all the details. I think there will be a live stream during the whole day and insight into your practice. So yeah, just encourage people to do that and follow, your work. So thank you so much, Amal. Good luck next week, and good luck to us as well. The live stream goes well. And and now I will shift to Rickward and Rosenberg, and I think we have Christina from the Place, the producers.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. The work also already premiered in its full glory at a couple of festivals. So if you can tell us a little bit more about that, and also the work, the image of the people in the track, it's really resonant, but also really complex in the current world. So can you just tell us a little bit more about the ideas behind the work that are developed?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, we had our premiere at Norfolk and Norwich Festival a couple of weeks ago, and that was actually an incredibly moving moment for us all, because it was the show that we were all working on when we went into lockdown last year. To see it come to fruition is just an incredible thing. And yes, as you mentioned, it has these forms, these humanoid forms in a truck. And the scenario is a sci-fi. You know, these are sort of aliens from another planet, and what we see unfold is these forms being processed on a conveyor belt, and they come to explore and assimilate into being more human during the piece. And some of that's very funny as they sort of take on human mannerisms, and they explore you know, images that maybe are ones that might not make sense if you came from another planet. So at one point they go on a roller coaster ride, for example, but there are other moments when this is very moving, and there's a moment when they realize that they're being processed into a kind of furnace, and they start to run in the opposite direction, so run as though on a treadmill against the treadmill, and it's this real sort of desire to be alive, to stay alive, a desire for life, which is, you know, very human, but also feels very resonant in today's climate, in today's world. It's also worth saying that the choreography has been adapted for COVID, so there's no physical contact in it, which actually means there's a thread that runs through it of loneliness and isolation, which also feels resonant at the moment.
Yeah, it's really like the pictures, you know, it's really taken impressive. So my other question is about the sound and why the choice has been made that people are wearing headphones instead of like a full-blown.
Yeah. So this is something that David and Frauke have experimented with before in their previous outdoor works. And the sound is recorded binaurally, which means that it feels as though you're within the soundscape. So it feels as though the sound is happening all around you. And this gives the sense of real intimacy, and which is often maybe hard to achieve in big outdoor spectacles, but actually there are moments when it feels as though you're right there in the truck. So it starts off and it's as though you're sitting next to the driver in the truck. It's that sort of powerful and intimate. And so I think that's why they really enjoy using this technique, because it allows this sense of connection with the performance, and it also allows the sound to travel around the space. So there are moments when it feels like you as the audience are in the truck with the sort of humanoid forms, but there are also moments when it's as though you're out within the audience, and towards the end, you know, there's this beautiful spectacle in front of us, and we start to hear the audience around us saying, take me, as though people want to go with these forms into this more beautiful kind of ordered life. Like it might not be perfect, but maybe it's desirable compared to the world that we're in.
Yeah, thank you. It's a proper immersive experience, isn't it? Yeah, I really cannot wait. Yeah, I can't wait to see it finally. For the years of development, and yeah, it looks amazing. Great, thank you so much, Christina. Again, good luck with the touring and for the summer. And yeah, now I will go to Stefan Jovanovic. Hi, Stefan.
Hi, Lucy.
Great. So thank you for, you know, all the presentations. They've been incredible, great imaginary. So I would like to ask and start with, how does your architectural practice impacts your choreographic creative practice, and especially specifically in relation to this piece?
Yeah. Well, on the one hand, it's the collaborators that I decide to work with. In terms of set design, often also come from an architectural practice. And we really start by drawing storyboards, plans, 3Ds, like imagining this world. And for the first time with this project, with two ongoing collaborators, so Jack Hardy and Curtis Oland, we worked together for about 6 months to really envision what this world is. So I was storytelling and writing the script and kind of landscaping almost the world. And then Jack was building it and Curtis was imagining how these creatures might come to life. And what we've created is essentially something that sits between costume and set design, because all of the costumes kind of can unmount off the body onto the sculpture and vice versa. So there's a lot of building, constructing, deconstructing that's happening, and that's where the architecture comes in quite a bit. And then in terms of sites, I have a really strong relationship with working with the histories of sites from an architectural background. And so that's what I'm coming into this work with, is really, really important to do the good, proper research of where we're taking this work in relationship to what's already happened in different places in the world and different lands, and the histories of those lands.
Yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, there's loads of layers, that work, and really, deep, themes that you are exploring. And I would like to sort of maybe just a bit of dreaming for yourself in terms of, you speak about rituals, the work idea being presented at sunsets. There's quite a lot of going into, how you imagine the work to be presented. So I wondered if you can tell us what would be the place that, and also in relation to the histories of spaces and places, what would be your dream presentation of that work, site-wise as well as what it might look like?
Yeah, I think sites that I've been walking around so far that I think would really work with this work is post-industrial kind of landscapes where nature has reclaimed the site, where we can see humanity's attempt to intervene, but unsuccessfully. And I think that speaks to what the work's about, which is the cyclical nature of civilizations through archetypes, wizards, creatures, and what you see in the imagery. And so off the top of my head, an amazing site I've found is like former watermills, where also the elements are really present, because that's another key part, is having water, having fire, air, and earth within the show will be a technical feature to explore. So sites that have relationships to elements in a very direct way, and I guess humanity's different, maybe cultures' approach to harnessing water or fire or air from an energetic perspective in the site would work really well with the performance.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so good luck as well for the future, for the next stage of development of the work. Yeah, and hope we see you soon. Thank you. Yeah, and now we go, I think it's our last Moveo company, Stefan.
Hello.
Did I pronounce it right, Stefan?
You pronounce it perfectly.
Brilliant. Okay, hello. So yeah, thank you for your presentation. We've been in touch with the company. Yeah, unfortunately we had to postpone the festival last year, otherwise we almost presented your work, but hopefully something in the future will, come back. So
I'm one of the desired festivals.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I would like to, so I've again 2 questions, so I'm gonna tell them at the same time, and then so basically I really what resonated with me is what you said about singing. And it's a contact without touching, physical touching, it's touching.
Physical touching, yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more, how did you explore that in terms of, working with the audiences? And if you already done it, how it works, how do you get the audiences to be in touch in that?
I mean, the idea came from when we were trying to revalue the show, because it was impossible to have this physical contact with the audience, which is something we always tried to do. We were looking for other ways to do it. And it actually came from something I watched one day, a performance of Freddie Mercury in Rio's concert when he was singing Love of My Life. And it was amazing because he comes on stage and the whole audience sings the song, and he doesn't sing the song. So I was thinking it's completely crazy that people actually pay to see him, but actually sing for him. And this idea of how they contact through singing, how there is like this space of meeting happening, it gives us this idea of saying, but that's touching. That's participating, that's being really close together, even though like in a huge Queen concert, there is this amazing distance. So we kind of took this idea and said, how can we do it in our scale, of course, because we don't do major shows with 200,000 people. And we started trying things. Of course, the major problem was we couldn't try. Usually when we do a street show, halfway through the process, we go out in the street and we try things. So we know how it works. And this time, everything was, we think it's going to work. We think it's going to work. We think it's going to work. And we had to wait until September when we premiered the show in Barcelona to see that it actually worked. So there is a whole way that I think it worked because the show, in its essence, like the other shows we did, creates a very close complicity with the audience. We try to make a show that is very physical, very strong in terms of physicality, but stays completely to the same level as the audience. So that the audience doesn't feel there is a separation between us dancing and them sitting around. I think that's how it works. Then we can slightly help them, ask them to participate, and it goes very fluidly. Now we are still, of course, we've been doing the show now about 10 times here in Spain. So every new performance for us is a test, and we're trying to implement new techniques, and we're also trying to think how we could even put sound in the audience so they could finally, little by little, come in the show without them noticing. And that's what we are exploring now for the future. But it's a very beautiful experience to have really this contact through singing. It's very nice.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that experience. Yeah, and you do it, I think, very well. I mean, the consequences that I experience, the sort of getting the audience, the slow, like, getting them really, nicely, into the work. So
yeah, because I think we need to. I mean, sorry, for us, it's very important to try to do optimistic shows. I think it's part of the brand of the company. We try to make shows that are. I think it's a political act to be optimistic and to be inventing new ways of relating, to be caring for the others. So that in the show should happen, and that's why we're trying to have this relation with the audience like this.
Yeah, sounds good. So being optimistic, and you already also have experience of touring this year. We are here in the UK. We've just started live events. How is the situation for you in Spain? How is the touring? How is it working now?
Well, in Spain, it depends. Some festival, I mean, last year I think was the same for everybody. There was a big unknown of what could be done and not done. Now, some places like the city of Barcelona really made a big step towards maintaining as much as possible the outdoor events, which means, I mean, of course, we have this distance with the audience. We cannot be with them, but it's still happening. So, which was really important for us because it's, I suppose, like for everybody else here, creating a show last year was a real, I think we were, my mother came to see the show in September when we premiered, and she was crying, not of the show, but that we could do it, that we actually finished the production, because it was a very, very challenging moment here in Spain. Now, things are opening more and more, and we can see that the dates are coming. It's going back to normal, especially with the change in the situation here, which is much better than before. And we are really, really grateful that we were able to premiere in September and do all of this work this year, little by little, re-engaging with the audience. And now here we are, ready to open the door to international touring.
Yeah, great. Fingers crossed. The promise is there, so let's see how this all's gonna work out. Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you so much, Sylvain.
You're most welcome.
And yeah, now I'm going to go now. If we have any questions from the audience.
Hi, Luce. No, we don't have any questions. So I am going to do, because we're short on time anyway, so I'm going to do a question if everybody can answer. So in your imaginary tour list for this show, please name either a festival or a place where you would like to see this work being performed. Stefan, sorry, I know that you've already answered that in your question, but yeah, if everybody could do that, we'll go around in the same order. So, Christina and Shadow, yeah.
Yes, we're going to let Grace answer this one because for us, we'll say everywhere, but Grace will articulate it in a better direction.
Yes, hello. So to answer your question, we are really looking at expanding our reach in the East Asian markets because we've had really good responses there. So there are a couple of festivals. West Kowloon is definitely one of them, and there was another one whose name that is not coming to my head right now that we'd love to be able to connect with. We've got great European links already, so it's really just building on any kind of European festival. We just missed out on the rural tour last year of Spain, so hello España, and then the Hola España, and then the North American marketplace. We will be in North America this October, so that's also another relationship that we would like to actually start building. And if Monique Martin is here, hello Monique, email me. Yeah, that's it.
Everywhere then, great. Thank you, Grace. Okay, great. We'll go to Lee, Far From the North.
For us, I think it's a bit more of who the work is for, and that's where it situates, which is young people, people of colour, young people that may experience poverty or some sort of lack of career prosperity and trajectory. But Botus and Far From the Norm's indoor work is really connected in Europe, North America and Canada at the moment. So looking for touring and sustainability reasons to see if there's any other outdoor prospects in those areas.
Brilliant, thank you. Jamal.
Yeah, again, I think that we're because the nature of what we're doing is just to try and connect with a lot of different people. It's hard to say. I think I was in a festival in Great Yarmouth and just walking around thinking, God, it'd be great to meet who these people all are. So, but I think that it is because music is center at it, and I think it'd be nice to find a space where those things collide a little bit. You know, we were unfortunate in that the pandemic kind of put a hold on us maybe going to Latitude last year. I think that those are the kind of spaces we really want to try and inhabit over the next few years, especially as there's that little blur between myself and Mahalia as well.
Yeah, great, thank you. Jan, over to you.
Hi, we would love to go more internationally. So we have quite a lot of interest in the UK already. So just giving mine away. So city festivals we really liked were like River City Rouen. We would like to go back there. We haven't played Tête à Tête Rastatt, which we really like to go to, and we would love to go back to Seoul Street Arts Festival, which we really liked it. And otherwise, we would definitely as well like to expand more into territories we haven't done, like North America, Canada, and other places.
Great, brilliant, thank you. Christina, we'll go over to you.
Hi, Hannah. Yeah, like Jan, David and Frag have been building relationships in South Korea. So the Seoul Street Arts Festival is definitely on our list as well. And I think the show sits really nicely in festivals or areas that have ports or points of entry. So there's an amazing festival in Amsterdam, Over et Eye Festival, which we have our eye on.
Great, lovely, thanks. Stefan Jovanovic, is there anything else you want to add to your answer from earlier?
I'll just name a few places maybe.
Okay, great, thanks.
In terms of land, I think I would definitely love to take this to Seismograph. And given the existing kind of multicultural aspect of the group, would love to go to Canada, Quebec, also engage with different First Nations communities with this work. And lastly, nationally, any of the Without Walls, I'd love to expand relationships there.
Brilliant, thank you. And finally, over to you, Stefan.
Hello. I think we'd love to come back to the UK, which would be for us very nice to come back to the Dockland Greenwich Festival. We'd love to keep going to Korea, which was a great experience for the company. We'd love to open towards Africa, which would be something new for us, and America also.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I hope people are listening and we'll pick that up. Lucy, I will pass back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, so great. We will wrap up here. Thank you, everyone, for your generous contributions to the session, and wish you all the best luck with your projects and both national and international touring. Hope that's gonna kick off properly. For the audience to have a refresher of all the artists and the work that's been presented today and yesterday. There is a booklet that you can download with information on the artists and their work, and it's just basically scroll down the page and you can find it there. If you have any trouble, please get in touch with Hannah or anyone from the team, and we can email it to you. So again, as you know probably by now, you can also visit the artists in the exhibitor hall and see full information, or you can send them a message and communicate with them directly. Great. So about to wrap up our second artist pitches session. I would also give another session tonight this afternoon, which Anna is gonna tell you more about. I just want to mention that next week we have a second part of Outdoor Dance Collection. That's a dance and the outdoor symposium that are delivered by 101 Outdoor Arts and the Place. So yes, it's on the 8th, Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th. So if you haven't registered yet, yes, please do so. There's a lot of amazing conversations and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you to all the artists and the audiences. And I'm now going to hand over to Anis to wrap up this session.
Thank you, Lucy, and a huge thank you to all the artists presenting today. As Lucy mentioned, our digital market session will start at 2 p.m. UK time, and that's just an hour from now. And that will be an opportunity to have discussions with the artists who've pitched yesterday and today, and also the organizers of the Outdoor Dance collection. That's also a chance for everyone to kind of ask about tour dates, because I know that quite a few of the companies presenting today and yesterday will be on the road this summer, whether it's in the UK or abroad. So please feel free to go onto Digital Marketplace session and get in touch with the company. Before I go, I just wanted to mention that you will soon receive in your inbox a link to a survey, and we kindly ask that you take a few minutes to give some feedback. That's very important for us to make the case for these kind of activities and to help us ensure that we're providing meaningful content. So once again, thank you to all our listeners, thank you to all our pitching artists, and we hope to see you very soon for our digital marketplace session. Thank you.